Hey, welcome to another update of my Canadian dividend investing portfolio. If you're a subscriber to the channel and you know what's going on, welcome back. And if you're new to the channel, if it's your first time, what I do here is I'm a Canadian investor buying and selling primarily Canadian dividend paying stocks, mostly on the Toronto Stock Exchange using Wealthsimple Trade and tracking everything in this custom Google Sheet that I made. There's links in the description below if you'd like to get the Google Sheet, and also if you'd like to try out Wealthsimple Trade, you can get a couple free stocks just by signing up and using my referral link, which is just a really nice way to get started. So links are in the description below. But yeah, today, basically this is an update. This is the weekend I'm filming, and on Friday I made a few changes to my account. So I'm just going to run through what I did. Basically my account was sitting around $78,300. I'm up just over $10,000, which is super awesome. It's about 15% all time in about a year and a half. And most of my stocks are paying a dividend. So my average yield of my entire portfolio is about 3.77%, which means I can expect to get around $2,955 per year based on the dividends of all of my stocks and the payments that I'm expecting to receive. So that works out to be about $246 per month. And you can see here, these are the actual payments, total payments that I received every month. Every third month is a bit bigger than the previous two, and so I'm expecting the month coming up, which is April, to be a really good month again, and probably be a new all-time high for my monthly income received. So what I do with this spreadsheet is I have to manually update things as I go. I just like to use the spreadsheet to kind of verify what Wealthsimple is showing me. You know, I was always a little bit suspicious at the beginning, and I wanted to track my own information. It turns out they're totally correct all the time. Yeah, I'm going to just run through exactly all of the actions that I made in the account and update the spreadsheet. And then we're going to kind of see how the performance changes, or we're going to track the performance in here because we get a little bit more information than what Wealthsimple displays naturally. So to get started, I received some dividends last week that I need to update in here. So if we just drop into the dividends tab, I need to drop them all in place. So this is going to affect the cash that's showing in my account as to what's available, because I do need to track every single dividend that I get in. And because now I've put in one from April, I actually need to go back to my summary page and increase this chart at the bottom to include April as well. So the way I do that, or if you're using the spreadsheet, the way that you do it is just select this whole row and just drag it down and just double check that everything checks out. So it is 2022, April, March 2022, and the total here so far for the month is 3307, which is just that TELUS dividend that I received. When we come back up here, we can see that it's now been reflected, and now as I go in the dividends tab and add any new dividends in for the month of April, they are going to show here properly. And we can see here that also the cash was updated. Now, I also made a deposit into the account, so I'm going to have to go into deposits withdrawals, scroll down to the bottom here, and add in the deposit, and it was just into the tax-free savings account. It was another $350. It was Canadian, and that was also on April 1st, 2022. Okay, so that is all the money that I added into the account. So that brought my available cash up to around $400, something like that. And then when I was looking at companies or positions, stocks that I wanted to buy, I was cruising around here, and I did sort of sort this to put the biggest gains at the top. It's actually freaky that Pizza is one of my top stocks. That I don't think that's ever supposed to happen. I bought these guys as a dividend company because they have a pretty high dividend of almost 5%. I don't know what's going on with them, why they're on such a tear lately, but cool, I'll take it. But I'm suspicious that that's going to last. I think like at some point they might pull back, who knows. Anyways, what I was doing is I was looking in here at some of the companies that were in kind of in the red for me, and Power Corporation was one of them. Great-West Life was not one of them, but I picked up a share of those guys as well. And I don't only buy stocks that are in the red. Like, I also do a little bit of research into the trend line and some of the information that's going on with the other companies. So if we take a look in the Sparkline tab and look at this other one, CNR, that I picked up, you can see recently they just really dropped off in the last week. I think on Friday they had dropped like 3% or 4% or something, and so I jumped on that and I bought a couple shares. Now they're doing pretty well for me. I'm up almost 17%, but that's totally cool. I'm not opposed to buying stocks that are doing well. But if they pull back like this and they have a kind of long history, a trend, an upward trend, and they're like dropping every once in a while, I like to jump in on those dips if possible. So you can see here that just in the last 5 years, they are increasing. The general trend, it's not very scientific of me, but every once in a while when they drop, that's usually the points when I try to buy. Okay, so I needed to go log those transactions in the transactions tab, and I just copy over the information that was in Wealthsimple Trade for the unit price and quantity that I bought. And if these totals add up to exactly what Wealthsimple is displaying, then I know that I haven't made any mistakes and we are good to go. So now checking the portfolio tab, the summary. At this point, my dividend income had raised a little bit. It went up about $11 per year because I bought more dividend paying stocks. But I was cruising around in my Wealthsimple app and I noticed that Hydro One was at all-time highs. So if we come in here and take a look at the spark line for Hydro One, they are right here. They really shot up. They've been doing really well actually in the last few years, just constantly going up. And this is the exact kind of stock that I like having in my portfolio. I don't really think they're exactly done, but I do see that they also go up and drop and up and drop. And I was thinking, you know what? Everyone is talking about how there's a recession coming and everything. And so I'm not totally opposed to selling stocks when they're at all-time highs. Some people would disagree with me. But I might buy back Hydro One later if they drop a little, or I might actually reallocate that money later. I was kind of thinking to consolidate Hydro One and Emera, two of my utility stocks that are relatively similar, into one position, because it's just to have a few less positions in my account, less to pay attention to. But anyways, what I did is I had around $1,300 worth of these shares, and I sold them at their all-time high. So what I need to do is log that in the transactions tab as well. So that was just TSE H. That was also April 1, 2022. And I sold all 40 of my shares at a price of $34.22. And I didn't pay any trading fees, and the trade was in Canadian dollars. So that totals up to the exact amount that I sold off. And then what I was thinking, what I wanted to do is I just recently did a little bit of a swing trade, you could call it, of Bitfarms. Where are they? They're up here. So I bought them at 457 and then I sold them at 531, but they actually dropped back off a little bit again. So if we come in here and just check CVE BITF and maybe zoom in a little bit in the last year, I guess, you can see I bought in somewhere like here and then sold. I don't know. I think I sold right there, actually. I can't remember now. Anyways, but I made like a pretty nice little profit of around 15%, but they've recently pulled back to 470 something. And so what I did is I actually took all the money from Hydro One and I pretty much just bought it back into Bitfarms. So in the transactions tab, I need to log that again. So this was CVE BITF. That was also on April 1st, 2022, and I bought 293 shares at a price of $4.71. So we can copy this information down. And that was a total of about $1,380. And what I'm pretty much planning here to do with these guys is hold on. I don't think I'm going to hold on until they double. Some analysts on YouTube, or not YouTube, Yahoo Finance are projecting that they're going to be up to like $10 per share. That may or may not happen, but if I can just hold them for another 10% or 20% swing or something like that, then I might consider selling them and then taking that money, that $1,380 that I spent, plus 20% or whatever. This is kind of what I'm imagining in my head, and then reallocating that back into either Hydro One if it dips or into Emera, which was kind of my plan anyways, to consolidate those two utility stocks. Then that's probably what I'll end up doing. If they drop down a little bit, then I'm just going to have to hold on and just kind of wait and see. If they go to zero and tank completely, then poor me, I lose all my money. But this is why you shouldn't just copy what people do on YouTube, because I am certainly not a financial advisor, nor is this financial advice. This is me purely documenting my own investing decisions, and I definitely do not recommend that you copy what I do. So anyways, I think in the portfolio tab now I need to make some changes in here. I need to log the sale of Hydro One. I forgot to do that. So in the transactions tab, what am I talking about? I put this in the wrong spot. I sold 40 shares and I sold them for a price of $34.22. But I need to double check what the average price was at the time of sale, and I can find that information in the portfolio tab. And that was actually, my average price was $29.97. I'm going to copy that number because I think there's going to be a few extra decimal places in there. Yeah. So I'm going to press Command C on that cell. Then I'm going to come back into the transactions tab. On this cell, I'm going to right click. I'm going to press Paste Special and then Values Only. This is a little bit better than just typing 29.97 because this will preserve all of those extra decimal places that may or may not exist that you might have not noticed. So this is going to give me a more accurate number in my spreadsheet. So anyways, in the portfolio tab, now what I need to do is I want to get rid of Hydra 1, knock them out of here because they're no longer a position of mine at the moment. And the way that I do that is I just select the blue cells over here, just the ones in A, B, and C. I'm going to press delete. And in this case, I'm actually just going to fill this spot with Bitfarms because that is the company that I also just bought. So this is going to be financials, I think. That's what I've decided to go with. And then CVE, BITF. And then this here is just, this is kind of irrelevant. I like to just track the chronological order of stocks that I bought. So this would be, I think, position number 33, if I'm not mistaken. You don't need to do this column if you don't want. Yeah. Okay, so anyways, Bitfarms is now in here. You can see my current holding of 293 shares. I bought them at a price of $4.71 on a limit buy, which was nice, and they're up a few cents. We'll see if I can hang on to that. This stock, like I said, swings like crazy, and we're just going to kind of see where that goes. So anyways, guys, yeah, taking a look at the spreadsheet, at the summary tab now. The last thing to do is kind of check my annual dividend income. Oh, and actually, again, sorry, I just noticed that in the dividends, in the portfolio tab, I had overridden the dividend price here for Hydra 1 because it was kind of lagging a little bit. So I'm actually just going to delete that and set that to 0 as it should be. Actually, I think the better way to do that, just in case anyone is using Spreadsheet and kind of learning about how to use it, I'm going to sort this A to Z. It's going to put Bitfarms down at the bottom. Ooh, Bitfarms is actually the 34th position, so let's try sorting that again. A to Z, there we go. And there's a formula here. You can see the formula up here. Instead of having that 0, I'm going to override the formula. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Now everything's cool. Anyways, I sometimes override the dividend formulas because when they sort, they can lag and give zeros. And for me, when I'm recording live, that's just super annoying. And so I sometimes just replace those with numeric values instead of formulas. Anywho, in the summary page, if we take a look here at the dividend annual income, the annual dividend income, this is what I wanted to get to because at the beginning of the video, if you were paying attention, you would notice that it was $2,955 and now it's $2,922, so it has decreased by like something like $32 or $33. And that is because I actually bought some dividend stocks at the beginning with that deposit money, so it went up. But then when I sold off Hydra 1 and replaced it with a non-dividend stock, my annual dividend income will now have decreased because I'm no longer expecting dividends from Hydra 1 anymore. But I'm not too worried about this because when I look at my overall portfolio performance, most of it is actually coming from stock price increase. You can see here exactly I have received $2,000 in dividends in total, but I'm up $10,000, so about $8,000 or 80% of all of my gains ever have come from the increase in stock price. And that's exactly what I'm looking for with Bitfarms, for them to increase in price and probably the semi-short term and then sell them off. And then when I do that, I'm going to reallocate that extra money and all of the original money I put in back into a dividend paying stock, and that's going to boost this number again. I'm just trying to kind of grow this a little bit faster by doing this little trade with Bitfarms. So guys, anyways, I've been rambling for quite a long time, so I think it's time for me to sign off. If you like these videos, please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys down in the comments and in the next video.